Welcome, everyone, to the Sonoma Spiel. My name is Tim Zahner with the Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau, and New Year 2025, and I started this whole podcast without pressing start on record, so this year I resolved to press record before starting the podcast. Look, here's what's happening. Christmas is over. We're in a new year. We're healthy. We got rid of the Christmas cookies. We got rid of all the cheese. We're full of kale. We're full of quinoa. I don't even know how to pronounce it. We're full of that stuff. And for that reason, I have a very special guest. Now, I know every week I say I have a very special guest. This time I actually mean it. I have Lori Varsames with the Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau. Hi, Lori.
Hi, Tim.
How are you?
Good.
I'm so glad we got 3 minutes into the podcast before I recognized
It's all right. It's all right.
This is actually a problem being colorblind. I don't always see the red dot.
Oh, wow.
I know. But now it's clearly there. We're
Okay,
recording.
good.
Yeah, and the little buttons are going. So
I'm ready to go.
But it was amazing when you confessed to that crime, and I have no recording of it. Lori, tell me, what do you do at the Sonoma Valley Visitors Bureau?
I do marketing and partnerships, and that means I'm responsible for maintaining and producing a lot of web content.
Oh, yeah.
And also signing on new members.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes, if you go to sonomavalley.com, a lot of the blog stuff is your stuff, or you've touched it and fixed it or updated it or edited it.
Yeah.
And a lot of the 5 tips for 10 reasons to
Oh, yeah. Blogging.
blog, all the blogging. Were you always a blogger? Is that your background?
No, my background is actually I was in the French wine business for the first part of my career in sales. And then I moved into marketing. And so I started doing a lot of marketing writing and also brand stories in the wine business, travel and tourism, and
Wait,
also
did you study
wellness.
French wine as a career, like at school?
I didn't study French wine as a career, but it was a career that definitely made my parents happy after getting an undergrad and a grad degree in French.
For real, in French.
In French. Yeah.
That's what you studied, French.
Yeah. As I used to say, wine supported my France habit.
Oh, smart. So you were like a French aficionado.
Yes.
Did you grow up someplace where there was a lot of French influence?
Yes. I grew up in Vermont, and so we were right on the border with Quebec, which is French-speaking Canada.
Is that, come on. Are the Quebecois really French-speaking, or do they speak funny? No one listens to this podcast. Certainly nobody in Montreal. Tell
Well,
me the truth.
I don't want to offend anyone, but I will say that the French, the Quebecois came from I think it's Normandy or Brittany in France.
Okay.
And they had a particular accent, and they came over in the 16th century it's like speaking like Shakespeare, and a lot of those expressions stick. And then you bring in the Irish and, the English-speaking influence, and you've got a hell of an accent. And some interesting words, like they use a lot of, I think I forget what the word for sneakers is, but it's something like, les baskets or something like
something
that.
Something very like older style or something weird.
Well, that's new.
Oh, okay.
But then you've got like their biggest curse word, I probably shouldn't say it here, is
MERDE?
No, it's tabernacle.
Oh.
Which is a blaspheming expression to refer to the tabernacle in the church.
Whoa.
So, it's the kind of thing that if you say it in front of grandma, she will slap you across
You're in
the
big
face.
trouble because 17th century Quebecois are going to burn you at the stake now. So you're like, she said the tabernacle word. Wow, that's a bad word.
It's a really bad word.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that word.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. You can bleep me out. But
Okay, bleep,
yeah.
bleep. All right, so you grew up in New England then.
Yes.
But it was really old France.
Kind of,
Yeah, in the area there.
A little bit.
Did you guys learn French in high school?
We learned French in grade school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the way people learn Spanish here.
Okay.
They did have some Spanish speaking classes there, but very few.
Interesting.
It was all
Okay.
French. Yeah,
Yeah, and over here it's very hard to find French.
totally.
classes.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not a professor.
Yeah, there would not. Probably in the high universities are probably French, but definitely everything here is Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is very useful.
It's
in
very
California.
useful. It should be useful all over the country,
Right.
you know?
And okay, so then you went to France for your undergrad, I'm sure, and did some studying abroad in your grad
did.
school. And then you're like, I got to pay for this French habit.
Right. So I got involved in the wine business. I became a bike tour leader in France, which was
For real?
hilarious because I hadn't been on a bike since I was 14 when I got this job.
Did you totally lie?
I totally lied. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm a recreational cyclist. 10, 15 years ago. And so, and then they asked, well, can I repair a bike? I was like, sure.
Oh, no problem.
So the 2 weeks before I left for my first trip, I went to the bike shop and I begged a mechanic to
give you a lesson?
To give me lessons. And I paid him. But,
Okay.
I was glad I did because I was still nearly SOL when I got to France. But I did. I rose to the occasion.
So would you take people around France on a bicycle?
Yeah, it was a van supported adventure. So like it was probably, I think, 6 or 7 days. And there were one van, 2 leaders. So one person would sweep with the van back and forth and all the luggage.
Okay.
And then one person would be the second leader would be the last cyclist.
Okay.
Which I was grateful to have that first trip because I'm glad I didn't have to prove myself. All I could be was the last cyclist.
You were the default sweeper.
I was the default sweeper.
I'm just back here making sure anyone needs help. Were you like huffing and puffing?
Out. Oh, I was. The first one was awful.
Really?
But then after that, you get in shape. Well, in a 23-year-old body, you get in shape overnight.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
That's not the case.
That was like,
anymore.
that was a tough 2 days. Whew, I'm in shape now.
Exactly.
So you weren't in the Alps. You were like in lowlands.
We were, well, not lowlands exactly. So I was cycling in Burgundy and in Provence, and those are in Alsace. Alsace is mountainous. That's the Pyrenees. But Burgundy and Provence tend to be hillier and they're just steep.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. And were the people with you, were they Americans?
They were Americans, some Canadians, but yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's
and the occasional single tax attorney.
Oh.
Which is
Is there a story there, Lori?
on every trip he appeared. It was a different
Really?
face, but it was the
This
same
is
guy.
like a romance novel. It's like, yeah, that's funny. Your name was Derek last week, but today you're Kyle. Who would have
No, he
thought?
was the guy trying to mack on all of the the women.
He's trying to find the French ladies.
Yeah, I guess so.
Did he speak French?
No.
So here's my tip: if you're going on a French, I'm going to right to the camera. If you're going on a French bike trip, watch out for the tax attorney.
Watch out for the tax.
Unless you are the tax attorney, in which case, cool it a little bit, bro. Slow
and
down.
come with a companion.
Yeah, find a friend. All right, so you did that for a couple years,
Yep.
and then you're like, I'm out of this. How'd you?
There was kind of, I felt a pressure to have a real job, so to speak, which I wish I had never done because that was the one great job that I wish I had never left because the societal pressure of making money, being somebody, all the things. But I wish I would have stayed in that job forever.
You could have had an amazing, 20, 30 years now, just cycling and you would totally fit.
I would never have had
speak
to diet.
French. Yeah, you just like all the brie, all the hamon. You could do it. So you did, but you did leave it.
I did leave it, and then I got involved in the wine business when I got back to the States as a way to support my France habit.
Okay.
Yeah, and I did that. I was in the French wine business predominantly for about 10 years.
Did you learn about wine through the cycling? Was that your introduction?
Oh, totally.
To it? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, French wine is a very difficult thing to learn because they don't really talk in terms of grape varietals like they do here, Chardonnay and Cabernet and Syrah and Pinot. They talk about appellations, so where something comes from. So there could be 3 towns that have the same grape varietal, but they all have different names, and they all 3 of them have different personalities in terms of flavor profile.
Okay.
So that's what's really exciting about French wine too. I mean, it's about all wine, but the French really kind of, the expression is mettre en valeur. Like they really they want to showcase the best of a region at all costs. And I love that too. It's the same with cheese. It's the same with certain spices.
Right. It's very location centric.
Yes.
And they'll send you love letters if you use those words.
Oh, yes.
Courtesy of their lawyers.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you're selling French wine. Were you here in the United States,
Yes.
going to restaurants and distributors and saying, hey, buy
Yes.
these wines? Okay.
Yeah. And in one job, I was actually representing the importer. Well, 2 jobs, but this one I was traveling like Manhattan to Miami in the same week.
Oh.
So that was fun to do in your 30s, but
It's fun to travel with someone else's credit card,
totally.
right? But it is exhausting after a while.
Well, one humble brag that I have is I have managed to eat in some of the best restaurants in the world without paying a dime.
Because she goes to the bathroom and runs out the back. No, that is also, I used to call it the honeymoon for one. Like you'd be like in this amazing restaurant or amazing hotel and you're like, well, here I am. If only you
By
had a tax
myself.
accountant with you.
Well, I'm sure there would be a tax attorney waiting for me.
It's gonna find
Had I
you there.
looked.
So then how'd you end up in California then?
Well,
Why are you here, Lori?
Oh my God, it's a long story. I'm going to try to bottom line this. I was coming back from France from grad school. I had gone back and was living in Paris, and was having a hard time finding a job in the wine industry as a woman, and also as an American. They had all sorts of bugaboos about that. So I moved to New Mexico, which was a crazy move because it was massive culture shock.
What part of New Mexico?
Taos.
So you're going on your spiritual journey.
I was going on a spiritual
going on a
journey.
desert
I think
walk.
so. Yeah,
Yeah?
I think that's probably true. I was
Okay.
definitely looking for something, and then I ended up meeting my husband,
Okay.
and he and I. It's a complicated story. I got laid off from a teaching job, and so we ended up moving to Santa Fe, which is an hour and a half away, and then I got back in the wine business, and it was 2010 or 2008 when the market crashed, and like 2 or 3 businesses I worked for went under.
Yeah.
So I finally said to him, "Where can we go?" Where we both, at the time he was an adventure travel guide.
Oh, okay.
And I said, "So where can we both go where we're both going to shine?" And we agreed on California.
Oh, good. Wow.
Yeah.
Is he a Californian by birth?
He spent, he was in grade school in San Jose.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he
408.
loves California.
Very good. South Bay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys came out here to California
Yeah.
to strike it, not rich, but to strike it well. How about that?
To strike it well. Well said, Jim. Speaking of wellness.
Right. Well, and we're going to segue into that. So thank
Excellent.
you. So now I want to get this before we move into our next segment here. You currently, you write, I know you've worked for a bunch of different things. You also have a coaching business. I'm going to give it a plug right now. Is it called Lori Varsames Coaching?
It is.
Okay.
You nailed it.
And so is it a website like lorivarsames.com?
It's LoriVarsames.com. Exactly.
VARSAMES.com. What does a coach do?
Well, a coach is somebody who wants you to be your best self. And so they're really kind of helping you navigate negative mindsets or habits, helping you get where you want to go. So if you think of therapy as how the past influences the present, coaching is really how the present influences your future. So if you're kind of stuck, there are a couple of things that come up, like where do you want to go? What do you want to do? I tend to coach a lot of women in midlife, although I also coach people of other genders. And so one of the things that comes up often is like, I checked all the boxes, I did all the shoulds, and it's still not working. I'm miserable. Either they're soon to be empty nesters, which there's a new term for that, by the way, I want to invite for you, Tim, called open door.
Open door.
Open door.
You're not an empty nester, you're an open doorer. Because I'm about a year or two away from being an open door.
Yeah, you're close. So
okay.
Because empty nester's a little depressing.
It is.
But anyway, or there are people who want to change their career, but they're in a holding pattern, or a lot of times they're in toxic work situations.
Okay.
Something that you and I have rarely had to navigate in this in this world. And really, they don't know where they want to go, but they know they want something different. And so, coaching is a journey. It's part of that exploration. And it's a little bit more dynamic than a lot of relationships with therapists where there's a lot of, chin holding and head nodding. It's a little bit more like, hey, what about that? And then, and they go, well, what about that?
A little more tasky accountability.
It's a little bit more. And like therapy, very intuitive. What are they not saying?
Right.
What are they saying? How can you help them
Do you feel that some people who you coach might already have the answers inside of them, but it's just sort of like teasing it out? Or are they like so stuck?
That's exactly it. Yeah. Like a coach is not there to give you the answers. The coach is there to help you find your own. And I think that's what's really great about coaching, because it really inspires self-sufficiency. So, a lot of coaches will sell packages of a certain number of sessions. You can re-up the package if the timing isn't right for you. But the idea is not to be on the line forever and ever. You're not going to be doing 30 years of coaching with the same coach.
Got it.
That you're growing, that you're changing, that you're you're learning new habits and you're putting them into motion yourself using the tools in the box.
So you want them to graduate.
You want them to graduate.
When the student is ready, the teacher appears. And when the student is done, the teacher goes away.
That's right.
Other side maybe of the coin there. So I like that. Okay, well, we teased wellness a second ago.
Yeah.
Lori, we're recording this in the new year, 2025, right? We haven't touched cheese for 3 or 4 days.
5 minutes.
5 minutes. I was just at Sonoma Market. I literally had a bunch of quinoa and beets and some other weird salad because I'm like, I got to be healthy now.
Right.
So what is the season right now in Sonoma Valley?
Oh my God. It is called the season of winter wellness.
Love it.
We love winter wellness here in the Valley.
Winter wellness. And you came out here to be well.
I came out here to be well.
What we're finding a lot is, people come out here for food and wine, which is all wonderful.
It's all great.
In the winter, things quiet down here.
Yes.
And we survive the holidays, a lot of pressure with the holidays.
Yeah.
There's stress whether you want it or not. That's just like a lot of societal expectations and projections and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, performative.
But you get through it.
You get through it.
And now it's like this quiet period.
It's glorious.
So we're celebrating wellness in Sonoma.
Yep.
In the winter especially because, again, harvest is a manic, crazy time.
Totally.
And, when we get into summer, it's beautiful. And there's farmers market, a lot of busyness and stuff like that. Right now, it's just like it's still. It's quiet. It's green. We're there. And we're celebrating wellness.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I do want to put a plug in for coming to visit during the winter. Tim doesn't like me saying this, but there is in fact rain in California in Sonoma.
Liquid sunshine.
But what I love about the rainy season is that it's the greener season. Coming from Vermont, it's like this is what Vermont looks like in the summer.
We get a lot of people from back east in the Midwest who are surprised how green it is.
Yeah.
January, February, March, April, May. It could be Ireland out here, right?
Totally.
It's super green. And that's because it does rain at night from 12 to 6 a.m.
It's awesome. Only.
By schedule.
It actually does almost happen like that.
It does seem like it rained a little bit this morning, and now it's stopped raining out there. And then what I do like is that the streams are running.
Yes.
Like the salmon are in there, and if you go to the redwoods, it's beautiful. You hike
waterfalls everywhere. Right. Sugarloaf,
it's nice.
Yeah.
Lori, I did bring in as part of our wellness thing. I went to Sonoma Market after I jammed all the quinoa in my mouth, and I got some super juices they sell there.
Yay!
Okay?
I love their super juices.
We have a green one, a red one, or a greener one. Which one do you want to try first?
Oh God! Well, I haven't had my sugar fix today because I finally.
Oh really?
I finally given it up. So this is gonna the sweetest one.
Sugar. This one has. Let's start. Okay. Well, let's start with Green Dream.
Green Dream. Ooh.
A Green Dream, and as you can tell, it's green. Right, and that's pretty green.
Gorgeous.
It's got pineapple and cucumber and Fuji apple and spinach. And kale. Remember when kale was everywhere?
Oh, I know. Wow.
All right, we're going to try this right now.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah, I need a little something.
Okay, here's the...
I love that you said it's like all done with the cheese. I think we still have like 5 pounds of cheese.
Here's the problem. I went to Costco and I got so excited.
Oh, no. The Manchego.
I came home with like a 10-pound wheel and a trampoline and a new bed. No, yeah, so that was a problem. But I still have it in the fridge. Okay, let me give you some of this Green Dream, Lori.
Beautiful.
Okay, we're going to do there.
And I'm guessing this is made with some delicious Sonoma Valley local produce.
It probably is. Let me see here. Yeah, going to give us... I'll do the French style. Okay. Sniff.
Examine the color.
I should have twirled it around in a wine glass. I should have put it in a wine glass. But Oh, I'm getting
that's great.
notes of health and vitality. There's a little kind of like a peppery taste to it. I don't know what's in there.
Yeah, you know what? It almost tastes like I'm erasing the 2.5 dozen molasses cookies I ate single-handedly.
I know. My neighbor, thank you, Carla, brought over her cookie plate after Christmas. She broke a rule. Because between Christmas and New Year's, it's that weird period. It's the bardo. We're neither living nor dead. We're just waiting. We're just there. And you're just eating cookies and you're in your pajamas. And when Carla brought it over, I was like, oh, crap. So, I literally was eating cookies in the morning. They were so bad. This is I actually really like this.
It's delicious. Ooh. And this actually does not taste medicinal or anything.
No.
It tastes really good.
I think it must be the Fuji apple in there. and the spinach, kale, celery. And that's really good. You can get these at Sonoma Market at the checkout right there by the coffee thing.
It's awesome.
They sell them there. That's pretty good. All right, next one. You want to try another one?
Yeah, let's do it. They also have one,
Yeah.
I just want to say, called Purification, which for those of you who like to drink may or may not be able to help you with your
Does
hangover.
help purge your poisons? Like, okay, I like it. I've got another one here. Do you want to go red or another green?
Let's do a red just to break it up.
Okay, the other red is called Just Beat It. Just Beat It. If you can imagine, it's probably got beets in it. And it's got carrot, lemon, Fuji apple, beets, kale, organic ginger. Ginger's good.
Yeah,
it's good for your
warming
stomach.
and anti-inflammatory.
Is it anti-inflammatory?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll crack this open. And here, I'll put it here.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. I don't want to reach all across the. Okay. We're doing the ASMR, like a sound thing. Here we go. It wasn't a very good sound. But anyway, this is incredibly red.
Beautiful.
I'm going to carefully. You got it? Okay.
Got it.
Gotta do this real quick. Here we
Thank
go.
Ooh.
Yeah?
Smells very gingery.
Oh, it does have a ginger. It's a ginger bouquet.
It's very
Essence de gingembre.
slight note of holiday leftover.
Let me see here. There we go.
Delicious.
Oh, that does have sweetness to it, too.
That does.
You said that, yeah. Wow. Oh, that's really good.
It's almost like a kombucha without the spritz kind of thing.
That's what it's like. Are you a big boochie? You booch head there?
I love it.
You hitting the booch.
I'm hitting the booch. I'm hitting the booch.
My kids, like, when kombucha became so big, like, Dad, get some booch. I don't feel like a guy at the railroad track offering me hooch. You know, like, I'll get some booch, Dad.
I got growlers of
I
booch.
exactly do. I love, and same with the yerba mate. They're always like, get the yerb, Dad. Get some mate.
That stuff makes me high. I want to like rip my heart out of my chest.
It's it's a stimulant. Yeah, it really is. So yeah, that's
delicious. I would say you could even serve this in a wine glass. Not that it tastes like wine, but it's really just.
It's that level of good.
It's that level of good.
I agree with you. You could serve this in a wine glass, and you could have this as like a dinner party of like a aperitif.
That's right.
Get people going there.
Totally. No, but Sonoma Market has some great products, and this is one of the many things they do. Just a little plug for Sonoma Market.
Hey,
I have to.
I love
them.
Go for it.
A pre-prepared food section and a deli that's not to be beat.
Right.
Although I also love the one at the Glen Ellen Village Market.
Oh, right.
Theirs is awesome. So wherever you are, like if you are looking for a little picnic when you are in town, or a hangover helper, or whatever, what have you, you can find it there. And it's really done with a lot of love. The folks who work at Sonoma Market, they're a lot of long-term employees. They really love what they do. They recognize people when they come in. They want you to have a great experience.
Eric, the guy who manages the coffee thing, says he listens to the podcast, and he says we should do a live one. It's like, we should do a live one.
Wild.
Yeah, maybe like Murphy's in the Snug or something like that. We could sit in there, and he was all excited. I'm like, we got to do a section called Ask a Barista.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and he was all for it. So yeah, the Sonoma Market people, they are great. And they did sponsor Lighting the Plaza, like all those cookies. They bring them all, and Cody, the manager there, is a great guy. On the topic of wellness,
Yes.
I was wondering if there were like about 100 ideas for wellness. Like, could you imagine, Lori, if some idiot said we should do 100 days of wellness? Can you imagine that? That'd be so dumb.
Oh boy, I can definitely imagine it. I can imagine it a couple years in a row. I mean, we have in front of us too, folks, a list that was printed out from our blog of 100.
100 days. Matter of fact, we're ahead of ourselves because Sunday, January 5th said, you can't beat this. With beets, right? Fresh pressed juices from Sonoma Market's juice bar. This week, try the Purifier with kale, ginger, lemon, cucumber, and pineapple. Not your jam? The California Kiss has carrot, apple, pineapple, and orange.
See, you know what? That's such good marketing writing. I can't tell if it's yours or mine.
I think I went on that one. But every day we have a different suggestion, sometimes 2 or 3 suggestions in the same day for things to see and do at sonomavalley.com.
And there's really a ton. I mean, can I just offer a little bit of historical perspective too?
Go for it.
Sonoma Valley has been a place of wellness for eons, and the native Wapopomo and Miwok peoples who used to live here, and some who still do, have always treasured this place for its natural thermal springs. And while we still have thermal springs, a lot of that shifted in the 1906 earthquake, which kind of closed the holes to some of these.
Right.
But we do still have access to these thermal pools at the Sonoma Mission Inn, Fairmont Sonoma Mission Inn, and all the warm springs.
Morton's Warm Springs.
Morton Warm Springs in Kenwood.
Glen
Kenwood.
Lellen. It's between the two up there in the hills. And there's also, Lori, I heard on private properties, there's certain places where the springs do bubble up around the creek. Yeah, because they do kind of, the springs, they move around a little bit.
That's so cool.
And the geothermal activity runs all the way up the valley, up towards eventually what's called the geysers up in north of Geyserville, which is where we get our power from, is they inject water into the hot rocks, and there's naturally occurring, and the steam comes up, and it turns turbines to make electricity.
Oh, wow.
So it's all the same kind of system.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that a volcano won't erupt, but probably won't erupt anytime that we're around.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood here. But there's all part of that whole geothermal magma thing like that. But
that's very cool.
Yeah. So you were saying about the wellness, sorry.
Yeah, no. So it's always been a place of wellness, and I think one of the things that we've often talked about here is things get quiet in the winter, but there's really no reason for them to be quiet because there's a lot going on. We're not seeing as many outdoor live concerts at this time of year, but we are seeing a ton of other cool things.
Neat activities.
Yeah, like I love the Star Talk.
Yeah, so here's
the Robert Ferguson.
I was going to bring that Robert Ferguson Observatory. They have a bunch of different events. One is the telescope. Right, if you got a telescope for Christmas, you can bring your own. Did you get one? I did not.
No.
Did you get a Red Ryder BB gun? I did not. But you can also use their telescopes.
Yep.
And they will do lessons for the public.
So cool.
On how because they have a beautiful observatory up there. I've had Stephanie on the podcast before talking about the RFO, Robert Ferguson Observatory. But you're absolutely right. It's wintertime. You have a little more nighttime. The skies are nice and clear, especially up there. There's a little saddle above Sugarloaf State Park, kind of goes down, and you have very clear skies. Awesome. It's kind of protected from Santa Rosa and Napa and Calistoga. It's beautiful. So that's stuff that's going up there. Lori, do you ever do yoga?
I do.
Do you really?
I do. I wish I did it more. It's really good for the body.
Yeah. And we have Sonoma Yoga here in town.
Sonoma Yoga, which is now based out of the Lodge.
Yeah.
And they also work with a lot of other local businesses, I believe. I don't know if they do anything with Euphoria Retreats.
I think they do. Yeah,
do they?
And they do a lot of yoga hikes. So they'll sponsor stuff like that. And we actually have coming up, there's International Yoga Day in the summer or something like that. Yeah, International Yoga Day. It's not part of the 100 Days of Wellness, but you got to get ready for it. So you start doing the yoga at Sonoma Yoga, which is down at the hotel called the Lodge at Sonoma. Mm-hmm. And they have events throughout the valley and stuff like that. And I think they're doing something up in Glen Ellen. Aren't they?
Oh.
That new spot up there?
Oh, I don't know.
I think up at Songbird Parlor.
Yes, they did the one last year. I don't know if they're doing it this year. That's so cool. Yeah, they partner well with a lot of different businesses.
Okay. Another one I found, the Haiku in Motion hikes, which I like.
I love that.
Which is up at the Sonoma Botanical Garden. It's a guided meditation that you could do up there. All right, I'm going to find a couple more. I'll let you look for a couple more. We can just kind of pick and choose one. I'll put one in here is about on Thursday, January 23rd, we put, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy books, and that's kind of the same thing. We said, head to Reader's Books, a Sonoma favorite bookstore, and find the right story for you. And there's a bench right out front. That's Ada Limon, the poet laureate.
Yes.
She lived there, and she worked at Reader's Books.
Yeah.
And so did you.
Yeah, briefly. I mean,
did. Look, you guys are related there.
See, one degree of separation between me
and
glory.
The Lori Varsames bench.
Where you can sit and tell me your problems.
Exactly. I love that. She'll give you a poem, and you're like, well, I'm going to hold you accountable. So,
advice 5 cents, right?
So I like Reader's Books. I bought some stuff there for family, and it's a great little local bookstore right off the plaza.
Totally. I mean, and what I want to say too, their selection is very thoughtful. They have the same buyers who've been doing those sections for years, and they take a lot of pride in it, and they have expertise in it. And so it's not like walking into a Barnes and Noble or a big box store. You get a real curated selection, to use that word. Curated.
It's artisanal.
Bespoke.
And that also talks that wellness isn't just yoga.
Yeah.
and Pilates and kale. It's also like feeding your mind.
It's feeding mind. I mean, wellness professionals think of wellness as mind, body, and spirit. You have to have those. I used to work at Traditional Medicinals, which is a local
tea.
Yeah, and
Famous.
it's actually famous for throat coat and
Come on, say it.
smooth move.
The number one selling tea is a tea that makes you go.
And boy,
Does it
don't
work?
misuse that tea.
Must be near your bathroom before drinking.
But no, the what's really great about, well, I'm not going to plug those teas right now,
Right.
but they're fabulous in terms of quality, like
Right.
some of the best on the market. Why am I telling you this?
I think you're talking about wellness, spiritual.
But I worked for,
Right.
and with a lot of herbalists. And so they taught me a lot about, wellness being not just one thing, but part of a larger wheel.
Got it.
So it's not just your health, but it's your mind and your spirit. Do you feel connected to your community?
Absolutely. I think it's spot on because people often just think, I'm going to go to the gym,
Right.
going to work out.
Yeah.
I'm going to put on my headphones. I'm not going to talk to people.
Going to like the hell out of this.
Like her the hell out of it. But like to your community, like the Ada Limon Bench readers books, if you sit there and you talk to people walking their dogs,
Right.
you make that connection and
Totally.
you feel happy. And even if you're from out of town, you'll meet people. If you're local, you'll talk to people. And that's you get a good feeling out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what we do better than anyone, I think, in Sonoma Valley. When you come to Sonoma Valley, we're not selling you high-end whatever. We are selling you small town charm, and we
Yeah.
hope you enjoy every last bite of it. We do.
Just get a little snack of
That's
that.
how everybody treats people
like it.
here. Yeah.
Okay, here's one. I've had Howard Sapper on before from Pushpak Wine Country
Love
Wellness
it.
Tours. You'll often see they're little scooters, right? And Howard does great tours. He also has people working to do tours. If you are not able to hike, like you said, your husband did these adventure hikes,
Right.
And you did these big cycling tours,
Right.
But maybe mobility is an issue.
Sure.
With Howard's tours, you can sit on these really neat electric scooters
Totally.
and get up front, and you can go along the bike path and see vineyards and go to the mission and stuff like
And
that.
still feel the thrill of discovery
Yep.
without having to necessarily use your body.
Right, and go hiking up there. But he's
Right.
got a couple different options. One is he has a new tour that includes a stop at the Sonoma Ashram.
Yes.
So you can learn meditation and do a little thought there.
Cool.
Yeah, I really like
That's
that.
neat.
So, and he's way into that sort of stuff. So he's got that going on. That was in the end of January, but you can do that anytime you want, really.
Yeah. I mean, I love too the mushroom foraging hikes.
Okay,
that
mushroom
kind of
hikes
thing.
are a big thing right now.
Totally.
People are into mushrooms. But Lori,
Yeah.
you can only do it if you're a fun guy. Hey! God, that's bad. So people don't. You can grow mushrooms in a clean room, but you can also find and discover mushrooms in the wild. Now,
Yes.
here's the caution:
Uh-oh.
mushrooms can kill you.
Yes.
And some will send you on a trip to psychedelic wonder, and some will send you on a trip 6 feet under. So it's important to go with an expert
Absolutely.
who knows what's edible and what you can do, and also not to trespass and not to collect stuff on state park lands.
No.
So a lot of these mushroom hikes are guided on land where you're allowed to go, and they also explain what you can eat and what you should
Totally.
avoid.
That is not a chance I want to take.
No,
Of all the things in nature, that is not
Lori,
the one.
Lori, when I go foraging for mushrooms, it's in the produce section at Sonoma Market. I'm like, yes,
That's where you can find me too.
this is fine. It's got a label. Probably won't die. But there's the mushroom guy at the farmer's market, though, and he has great mushrooms. He has these really earthy ones that
Turkey tails.
my son had some, and he got them in a bag, and then of course he forgot them in the car, and they were earthy.
I bet they were.
I got in the car and I'm like, what the hell died in this car? My son's like, oh, the mushrooms underneath the seat. So another thing the mushroom hike was at Sugarloaf. They do it up there, and they kind of explain stuff like that. Okay, this is kind of weird, and this is a little bit different. But have you been to Sonoma Grill?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, the Sherpas, they're part of the Sherpa family. He's hiked Mount Everest. He's a cook up there.
Oh, wow.
But they make really good oysters. They also have prime rib night. You're like, Tim, prime rib wellness.
I'm asking.
Hear me out. Going back to my community thing, sometimes you can indulge a little bit and have lots of friends and family and do a little bit of that. So I included the prime rib night because I I never cook prime rib at home.
I know. Well, yeah.
I saw one of those at Costco. It was like $500. I'm like, if I buy this, we have to invite over like a full thing, right?
It's major.
It's major. And so I'm like, okay, that's a special indulgence that you can do. And I think part of wellness is also like, okay,
balance.
it's balance. You can have your beet juice and your kale and whatever.
And your glass of wine.
And your glass of wine. You're absolutely right. And so on prime rib night, I'm like, go. Get your friends together. Do that community. Have a glass of Sonoma Valley wine. You know, a wine person, you'd probably suggest a red wine, I imagine.
No, not necessarily.
Well, get out of town.
I mean, there are a lot of exciting sparkling wines and white wines that are emerging that surprise me given a climate.
Okay.
Yeah. So
color me intrigued. Next time I'll bring a bunch of prime rib.
Yeah, that'll be it.
Do that there. Okay, one thing I put on here is Sonoma Splash.
Yes.
Okay, that's our local swimming pool.
So exciting.
And they have a wellness series. So one, you can drop in and just hear different people talk about wellness at Sonoma Splash. Two, you can just hop in at Sonoma Splash because it's literally a swimming pool. It's beautiful.
And it's not just one, isn't it? 3?
Yeah, it's like enormous, like real swimming pool.
Like
if you're
Olympic.
like a lap person, so you can go do your miles swimming as you do.
Totally.
Then there's like a warmer therapy style pool.
Nice.
And then there's, I think, a fun pool, like kids and stuff
For
like
kids,
that. And it's shared with the community and the high school.
Nice.
So I love the fact that, like, pools are very expensive for a community. So having it at the high school, but also so everyone can kind of use it. The bike trail goes right by there. It's a neat place.
And they have a ton of aquatics classes too. So if you're a visitor and you're coming by, you can just drop in with a punch card. You can buy a punch card and do as many as you want while you're here.
I think some of the hotels have a special deal with them too. So
That's cool.
Yeah, smart idea.
And by the way, these are brand new pools. So if you are at all skeeved out by anything public pool related, this is the time to be there.
I too was a liberal arts major like you, so I used to operate a swimming pool. And I mean, I don't want to brag, but I am a certified pool operator.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
Tim.
Circa 1998. I don't know if it's so good. But I took the class.
That's so cool.
And North Shore Country Club, if you're still got a swimming pool, you're welcome. Yeah, that was a good time. I learned I'm not going to join a country club.
I learned that
at the country club. Okay, so bike adventures.
Yeah.
We do have in town here a company called Sonoma Adventures.
Totally.
And you can rent bikes from them. Hunt and his wife Yuri, they have this great, Uni, they have this great business where they rent out bikes. They also do tours and real friendly.
Totally.
And direct you where you can go and stuff like that. And I love doing bike tours. I mean, I totally forgot that you were a bike tour
once upon a time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also wine country cyclery too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We've got a lot of resources for a small town. We've got a lot of awesome resources.
And wine country cyclery, I always love that they have the bicycle built for 2 out front.
That's so cool.
So fun. Yeah. And they also have an air pump. So even if you're just in town and your bike needs to get pumped up, the tube is sticking out of the wall. You can, for free, just inflate it.
What a nice service.
It's such nice people.
Yeah.
Such nice people. Okay, I've got
a little plug too about cycling. When
Yeah.
you're in the vineyards, like there's some popular vineyard routes that both Wine Country Cyclery and Sonoma Adventures point you towards, and they're really quiet roads. It's a really nice way to absorb the countryside without speeding by in a car, without being so slow you're walking and like I'm never gonna get there. It's a gentle cruise. I mean. And easy riding. You can find some easy routes.
Most of them are not straight up hills. They're fairly flat.
Perfect.
And you're right. Going through a vineyard has the romance and the excitement. I'm sure in Ohio, don't write me angry letters. Don't come at me. But I don't know how many people rent bikes to ride through soybean fields. And if you did it through corn, that's like scary, right? Because children of the corn, that'd be terrifying. But for some reason, a vineyard, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. And it really too, it slows you down at just the right pace and you go as hard as you want.
Right. I'm going to get a letter from the soybean producers and bicycle manufacturer of Ohio or something. Sorry about that, guys. Lori, what is the worst part of online recipes?
They're not tested.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of online recipes are poorly tested.
Okay, it's actually, if I was making collard greens last night, online recipe, and I already know how to make them, but I make them. They forgot to tell you. They say take the bacon out, and then put in the bacon fat. Put real healthy here.
We're just gonna say.
I'm using what's in the fridge.
Transition.
I'm using what's in the fridge. That was the other thing. We're not letting you know. Put the onions back in the grease for a little bit. It never told you to put the bacon back in.
Oh, well, damn.
So I put, the collard greens in. I put in some chicken stock. And I'm like, why is the bacon still out over here? I'm like, oh, crap. I should have put it back in. And, of course, the fifth comment down said you forgot to tell us to put the bacon back in.
Well, yeah, and so then you get internet trolls that are the sticklers that are like, wait a second, you didn't tell me about the butter.
So you've got untested recipes.
Untested recipes.
You've also got, how come you have like a 5-paragraph story before every recipe?
Oh, for the love of God. But that's what us writers do like. But I never read them.
I know. You got to skip ahead.
I'm like, great.
So let me ask you, the recipes on SonomaValley.com, how many 5-paragraph stories are in front of those?
None. There's only one small paragraph that just cuts to the quick. And you know what's awesome about those recipes? They've been tested to kingdom come. They have been tested to kingdom come because they're coming from a lot of our restaurants and wineries.
Yep.
And we've had wellness groups submit recipes too, and they're just like tried and true, using what we use, our local ingredients, but you can use yours, and they're delicious.
I love it. One is on Monday, February 24th. We have Meatless Monday. Try this layered eggplant puttanesca, a hearty comfort food casserole that has no meat and lots of vegetables from Laurel Glen Vineyards.
Hey,
so they
those
submitted
wines
that.
Would be great with that.
It would, and I love that you do go through these recipes with a very, very keen eye.
Yes,
I know you send them back and say that photo is terrible. Send a better photo.
We want them to like the recipe.
But food photos are hard.
Food photos are hard. They are.
But yeah, at SonomaValley.com, we have a bunch of recipes, including the new wellness section that you put together, and there's some good stuff on there.
Good.
So, yeah. Okay, Lori, we're gonna jump ahead here.
Yes.
To Sonoma Escapes has a farm to table brunch and wellness hike.
Awesome.
You get a gourmet brunch or lunch, and then you go on a little hike. So I kind of like that. They had that for Friday, March 7th.
Totally. And that's what's great, too, because it teaches you a little, like from the farm to table perspective, you're really getting to know why an ingredient is important to a local economy.
Right.
So from a tourism perspective, like that's really interesting.
Right.
That's way more interesting than doing the same tour in your own home. Right.
Oh, it's true. No,
in a lot of ways, like it gives you a different appreciation.
Yeah. You get to go something new there. I have on Thursday, March 13th, I've had on the podcast before, Happy Travelers Tours.
Ooh.
Do you know what Happy Travelers is?
I do.
Tell me about them.
It's run by a very fun and kind gentleman named Van Sokloff, who does, it's a cannabis tour, and they have high teas with, tongue in cheek, but with CBD, which is, the medicinal compound of the cannabis plant.
Okay.
So it's not going to get you high per se, but it's going to mellow you out because that's what CBD does. But they also have visits with mountaintop growers and wine and weed pairings. I've not done one of these yet, although I've been invited and I need to go. I think it sounds fascinating.
Yeah, and Van is such a character.
Oh, yeah. What an entertainer. Yes.
Yeah, he really knows what he's doing. So he's a good one there. Okay, let's skip ahead because then we're going to have to move into answer some questions because you have to answer some questions.
Wait, one more.
Go for it.
Sorry.
Go for it.
One of my favorite places for healthy eating that also feels really decadent is Sunflower Cafe.
Oh yeah, right on the
Oh, it is one of the prettiest little spots. They have one of the sun-dappled terrace in the back.
Oh, look at that sun-dappled terrace.
Right? I got a few more of those from my lexicon.
It's a historic adobe building.
It's a historic adobe building, and the owners are wonderful, and the service is incredible. It's fast. You might have a long line, but you'll be in and out of there within an hour.
Because you order usually at the front, then you go in the back.
That. They're doing table service now.
They're doing table service now.
And it's just as efficient, if not more. But what they have is they've got these beautiful juices, not quite like this. They've more smoothie style.
Okay.
They've got, your avocado toast, which if you are a fan, there's no other place but California where you need to try it. And there's, and then they have like a Wagyu beef grilled cheese.
Really?
So if you want to be decadent, it's still like a little bougie and upscale. And yeah, it's really good. And I think it's a great place they're really great about accommodating dietary restrictions too. And in fact, there's an article on the blog called Healthy Eating Hotspots that you should check out too, because there are a lot of other restaurants there.
And Laura, you yourself, you're part of the gluten-free gang.
Yeah,
Not by
unfortunately,
choice.
no. I have an autoimmune disease, which necessitates that I probably hold back from grains too, but I eat them, especially this season. But no gluten, and a lot of the restaurants in town, because this is California and Northern California,
Right.
you're allowed to expect that restaurants have gluten-free options.
They have those options.
And
Vegetarian,
sure
they
do.
have those options.
Vegan, you name it.
And it's not like a big deal. Like they just provide it, and the food's fantastic.
And the food's fantastic. It's not like a separate one-off.
Right.
It's wonderful.
One thing we have on here, Fridays is the Sonoma Farmers Market. It's the year-round farmers market. It's the one with farmers. Not to be confused with the Tuesday night market, which has a few farmers, but also
And a big
music
party.
and a party, and it's in the summer through the fall. But the Friday farmers market is for the serious. That's where the mushroom guy
That's
is.
so cool.
That's where the patch is. That's where Jimmy the pumpkin guy holds sway.
Yeah.
You can get other stuff there, of course, but that's like the real one. So
And
it's a good spot.
it's a serious farmer's market too. I'd say if you can walk there, it's better than trying to park.
Yeah.
What is it, 9 to 1?
I think it's 9 to 1.
9 to 1. So yeah,
it's a good one
Make
there.
time for that while you're here.
And I'll do one or two more, and then we can move on to some questions. Did you, up on Sonoma Mountain?
Yeah.
There's a Zen Center. They call it the Sonoma Mountain Zen Center.
Yes.
Good idea. And it's kind of a neat place to learn with the authentic Zen tradition of daily practice.
Yes.
And they also have retreats and classes and even a solo spot where you just go up there and be quiet by yourself. So if you're really looking to go for the real inner peace, quiet,
Yes.
go up there. And it's interesting because Sonoma Mountain is between Santa Rosa and the Sonoma Valley. And you go up and then you go down into this little saddle, and there's this beautiful redwood grove you go through. The road is really tiny.
I have not been there
yeah,
yet.
and then on the left-hand side is the Sonoma Mountain Zen Center.
That's so
it's just
cool.
It's just real secluded, and you wouldn't even know that you're 20 minutes from Santa Rosa and 20 minutes from Sonoma. So it's a neat spot. Lori, all of these ideas, all 100 of them, where can they find these online?
Fresh on the homepage of SonomaValley.com.
I love it. That reminds me, now's the time for an ad. So here we go. We do our own ads. And what you don't know what we're going to do, you just riff with me. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Hi, I'm new to town, and I'm here for a couple days, and I'm looking to do some wine tasting. Is there like a tasting pass I should check out?
Well, funny you mentioned that. We have a great Sonoma Plaza tasting pass that actually expands beyond the Sonoma Plaza.
That's amazing. Whoever named that is kind of an idiot, not thinking that it would have gone beyond the plaza. But I hear it's $69. Is that true?
Only $69. And when you think about how much an individual tasting pass costs, that's a real savings.
I hear it can be even up to 25% off tasting.
25%?
There's no promo code. There's no coupons. You just go and get the Sonoma Plaza tasting pass.
Well, what's cool about the tasting pass is you can taste at 3 places in 24 hours for $69. That's a huge savings.
Right.
And you get to focus your tasting into, a more condensed period of time so that you can make space for other things in the middle of your day.
Well, I love that. I'm going to go to SonomaValley.com and get a Sonoma Plaza tasting pass right now. Good job.
Yeah.
That was an amazing ad, Lori.
You might think I've been in marketing.
All right, we're going to drink the final juice
Yes,
here.
thank you. Here, let's reuse our
Yeah, okay, send it over here then. So I
in
can-
the spirit of
I like it.
sustainability.
Reuse. So this is, Lori, this is called Ruby's Boost Juice.
Ooh, I could use a
Okay,
boost.
yeah, Ruby's Boost Juice. And it has orange, lemon, Fuji, apple, grapefruit, spinach, kale. A lot of similar things here. I think because they go with all the seasonal stuff that's
Nice.
available. So we're going to try
But
Ruby's
it's about
Boost Juice.
proportions.
Yeah, here we go. Oh,
They're going to surprise us. I know it. Oh. The sound.
the pouring doesn't quite work. I'll have to work that back into it. Let's try Ruby's Boost Juice here.
Ooh.
Nice green color. I can see a little vegetative matter in there.
It smells.
Oh, a little more
smells like
citrus
red
in there.
fruit. Yeah.
You like a citrus? Yeah. Yeah. So the grapefruit, I feel that.
Yum.
Oh, grapefruit. If like you're on certain drugs, you can't have grapefruit.
That's right. High blood pressure.
You're not on those drugs, are you?
No.
I
No.
warned you.
No, but that's delicious because sometimes grapefruit can be really astringent. So with
Yeah.
a nice little sweet edge, it's
It's good. I don't eat a lot of grapefruit. Are you a grapefruit person?
no, not really. I love citrus, but
Yeah.
here in Sonoma Valley, you go to the gym and somebody has like a huge thing of Meyer lemons fresh off their tree and
Yes, they're
inviting you
like,
to
please
take it.
take these. I have a Meyer lemon, normal lemon, I have bear's lime. So a lot of citrus.
That's why you're gardening so much, Tim.
That's because I like the citrus.
That's also a wellness activity, gardening.
You know what? And we have like a Sonoma Garden Park. You can go check out the garden out there.
Yes.
It's permaculture exhibits. It's got lots of neat stuff on how to garden. And I also go to Swedes Feeds in Kenwood. And once again, I did not get the 8-foot dinosaur statue that I wanted
I know.
for years.
It's so hard.
For years.
I get it.
I just wish my family would listen to this podcast and keep dropping hints by saying, get me the 8-foot Tyrannosaurus sculpture. This is really good.
That's delicious.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's the boost I needed.
And what I like, so these are the prepared juices they have every year. They make every day they make them fresh. But you can also order made-to-order juices.
Totally.
And they have that neat little machine that goes, and the juice comes out, and they have all sorts of cool smoothies and stuff over there. And they're not obviously the only place that has this. There's several places that have smoothies.
Yeah, but I think given how expensive fresh pressed juices can be, I think their prices are fair. And really what you're getting when you have one of those is, if you drink one of them too, it's probably more than you need. You could split it easily with two people.
I will probably not drink all three of these. It'll be like a traditional medicinals issue. So we will not do that way. But
we call it nutrient dense.
Oh, nutrient dense.
Nutrient dense.
It didn't work. Was that the marketing word out there in Sebastopol? All right. Okay. Well, Lori, this has been wonderful. You're an expert at this sort of stuff. You're not getting away, though. You have to help me with the best segment of the podcast.
We have questions.
We have questions. So here we go. So as you know, we have 2 visitor centers, one at Jacuzzi Family Winery, one at the Plaza. People call us, text us, email us, DM us. The info at sonomavalley.com.
Yes.
707-996-1090. They can text us. And this is the segment we call We Get Questions. So good. I'm going to use that. Okay, here we go. First question. Jan got this today.
Oh.
Love Jan. Hey, what kind of tree is that in front of the visitor center?
Oh, man. There are 100 different trees in the Sonoma Plaza planted by the Women's Club. What is this? Oh, you're giving me a map.
What
is it?
So there's several, and you're right.
Plane trees.
There was a plane trees. What we decided, she was actually pointing at a cedar. So the type of a cedar tree the woman was asking about. She'd never seen one before, I guess.
That's so cool.
Type of a pine or cedar. So I just gave it to you. That's the tree map, right?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I'm going to take one of these home. Good. My husband wants one. Yeah.
Tell me about the Women's Club again. What's that?
The Sonoma Valley Women's Club was started, I want to say like 1901 or something like that. And they were really, they started to kind of bring some civility into this old, Western town.
Culture.
Yeah. And the plaza at the time, I think, was a cow pasture.
It was mud and horse poop.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so they wanted to bring a little dignity to it. And so they raised money to plant 100 trees.
Yeah.
Madeline Agramonte is our former mayor, is the one to ask a lot of the questions to, because she's very well versed on the history of the plaza. But that it's a great story, and I think all of those trees still exist.
Yeah, a lot of them
huge.
Yeah, they're massive. When you see the old photos, the plaza was, as you mentioned, it was dusty. They were cattle.
Yeah,
and that was its original idea. Was when the Spanish and Mexicans settled, that was where the animals would eat. And then it was like, let's make this the center plaza here. And so over time, we've gotten fountains put in and sorts of stuff. But trees from all over the world. And people love to come take the tour. And we do have the self-guided tree tour map that you can get at the visitor center.
Make sure to ask for that.
Good. All right, here's another question we got.
Yes.
What fun and educational activities are there in Sonoma for families and kids?
Oh, I love this question. This is one of my special points of interest. We've got a lot. First of all, fun and educational could be anything that's related to the historical sites around the plaza. So the Mission, the Barracks, the Vallejo Home, Toscana Hotel.
Right.
Those are all great places to bring kids. In fact, local kids go for school field trips because it's got great history. Also, I really love, they have activities at Sonoma Community Center and Art Escape if your kids are creative. And also, it's a little bit outside the valley, but a worthwhile visit is the Schultz.
The Schultz Museum.
Schultz Museum and Research Center. They've got a lot of great activities, educational stuff
Which
for kids.
It's not just about Peanuts and Snoopy, because some kids might not know about that, but it's about the art of the comics.
Yes.
So if your kid is into manga, anime, comic books,
Any illustration.
they have different people there all the time. They have guest artists, and it is worth a drive.
Yeah.
We act like it's so far away. It's like at least 35 minutes away.
Yeah. But no,
close by.
it's a great visit, especially in the winter too, because they also have. Is the ice rink nearby?
Yeah, it's right there.
It's right there. Yeah, they've got the Snoopy ice rink.
Well, hold on. What if it's really hot? Ice rink is also open. Nice place to cool off.
Exactly.
And if you're visiting from like you are from the great up north, and you have skills on ice skates, you can make fun of we Californians
all year long
as we fall down and you do triple sow cows and stuff. Or whatever. Did you play hockey as a kid?
No, I loved watching it though.
Really?
Yeah.
Where my wife grew up, which is like in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Did I say that out loud? I did.
It's still on.
So they had ice hockey in the playground.
Oh, cool.
So they would kind of flood the playground, and then the kids would go play out in the winter. So
break their knees without helmets. Back in the
good
day.
times. And we all survived except the ones that didn't. So give me some lead in my gasoline. Okay, here we go. What are a couple of fun wine tasting festivals you recommend?
Oh, well, there's the Valley of the Moon Vintage Festival, which is the number one. It's the number one harvest festival in the fall. Normally takes place September for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. It's
a long weekend, but there's a lot of harvest activities before and after. Yeah. Let's see, other wine festivals. Well, a lot of them are also music festivals too.
Yes, good call. So if it comes back, there was the Huaychica Festival. Gunlock Bunchu has music, and they have wine tasting there. It's funny to see wine tasting festivals. Every day is a wine tasting festival in Sonoma.
It really is. I mean, you can't even go to a Chamber of Commerce event without it being a wine.
Yeah, isn't that kind of funny? I bet you
great.
that's a little different than if you're in another
in
place.
Cincinnati.
In Cincinnati,
exactly,
where they have chili tasting or whatever.
Right, which is equally fabulous, but.
You were so nice. We've already established earlier that Cincinnati chili is terrible because they have spaghetti underneath it. Did you know that?
And it's cinnamon, right?
And chocolate. I mean, it's actually kind of good.
It sounds delicious. It does sound delicious.
You have to be in a non-wellness state of mind at 1 o'clock in the morning for it to be delicious. I had it stone cold sober, and I'm like, what is going on? And someone said, oh, that's not how you do it.
So let me just think of other. And BR Cone has. They didn't have it last year either. Maybe they'll have it again.
Harvest Music Festival.
Which is great too, because then you can buy all sorts.
Well, as I say, also like even places like the Botanical Garden has their acoustic music, and they have wine pouring there. Sugarloaf has stuff. Hood Mountain has stuff.
There is pretty much no place you can go that doesn't serve wine except maybe a kindergarten. In Sonoma Valley.
but they're learning how to operate, machinery to work in the vines.
So that they can do it one day.
You're terrible. No, that's good. So there's a couple there. Also, you can even go, if you do dare go beyond Sonoma Valley, like Wine Road, which is like Healdsburg area, and they have a couple different wine festivals up there.
Oh, yeah.
Like Winter Along the Wine Road and barrel tasting. But we always have stuff here at Sonoma Valley as well.
Totally.
That's going on. Here's one. Hey, I just started a Blue Sky account. Can I find Sonoma Valley on there?
I understand you can.
You can. Yes, that's
Tell me more, Tim. I don't have a Blue Sky account.
Yet. Yeah, Blue Sky is the hottest new social media thing you got to manage. So it's sort of the answer to Twitter, the old Twitter, which has sort of kind of become at times full of a lot of stuff people don't always want.
Yes.
So Blue Sky is a new, fresh place to go find information.
Fact checking?
I don't know about that, but I do know that you can curate your feed a lot better than.
You know how I love a good curation.
The old curation, artisanally selected,
bespoke
messaging, short messages. So yeah, we are there, Sonoma Valley, on Blue Sky. We're also on TikTok for however long TikTok exists. I know there's some legislation now that might get rid of it, so then I don't know how to dance anymore if TikTok's gone.
But most importantly. Facebook and Instagram.
Instagram's still around.
Yeah.
If you're of a certain age, like we are.
We are.
And then YouTube, which these videos are on too.
And YouTube, of course.
And then SonomaValley.com. So.
May we.
May we. Final question. Were any movies made in or around Sonoma Valley?
Oh, my God. Well, I remember there was what was the name of the, it was a short, no, it wasn't a series. It was a TV show.
Oh.
there was about wine country. It was like a dynasty meets wine country.
Oh, the one in Spanish?
No,
There's one, a Vino el Amor. Oh, no.
there was one. It didn't last long. The pilot kind of was shot here, and I don't know what happened to it.
What was the name of that one? We were so excited for a second.
We were so excited for a second. And I think it was not a great show. But I don't know.
No, you're right. And there was like a family feuding over it. And there was that one person in it. And, oh, crap. You're right. You're right.
But that's not a movie. And I don't know what movies.
I know for one. So Scream is the big one.
Scream was filmed here?
At Sonoma Community Center. That was the high school.
You're kidding.
Westboro High School. Yes. Yeah. Scream.
Wow.
Cujo.
Wow.
Which has always been
in my backyard.
Always been a great ad for the Humane Society. Yeah, Cujo was filmed here.
Wow.
Or nearby. Cheaper by the Dozen, which is a Steve Martin movie, was filmed around here, I think. In Glen Ellen, there was some. What else was filmed up there?
What's the one in Petaluma, the George Lucas film?
Several. Peggy Sue Got Married, Howard the Duck, American Graffiti.
Diner?
Maybe?
I remember American Graffiti. Wow, I didn't know Peggy Sue Got Married. That's cool.
I think that was partly filmed,
Cool.
in Petaluma. Petaluma, they film a lot of stuff. Actually, between here and Petaluma and the coast, they film a lot of like car commercials.
Birds.
The Birds, of course, out of Bodega Bay.
Yeah.
Shadow of a Doubt, which is Santa Rosa.
Oh, cool.
And that was around the train station in Santa Rosa, and that's in Alfred Hitchcock. So there are quite a few movies that are filmed or have been filmed. Some are set here but aren't always filmed here.
Well, speaking of films, Tim, funny you should mention that.
Yes.
Also part of wellness.
Yeah.
It is. We have the Sonoma International Film Festival, which happens in March.
Yeah.
And is a great celebration of food and wine, but also, they hit on more poignant themes, related to hunger and things like that.
Right,
it's not just, the elegiac side of what we do.
There's some things to think about and some things to like chew on, no pun intended.
Yeah.
And they also have like chefs that they pair.
Oh yeah.
With some of the stuff there.
Oh yeah, local chefs.
Good way to bring that back, Lori.
And famous celebrities.
Right. To be named later.
To be named.
I don't know who's coming this year.
I can't remember.
All right, so that's good. There were movies made in Sonoma Valley, and they continue to be made in Sonoma Valley. And we encourage people, if you want to make a movie in Sonoma Valley, and you want to feature maybe a life coach that can help prod you along as like a gritty, francophone, cheese-eating, gluten-free life coach, or a podcaster, we're available to work.
Yeah.
We don't have our SAG cards yet, but we're going to go. Lori, it's been wonderful having you on the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Tim. This was super fun.
If people want to hire you for coaching, what's the website again?
LoriVarsames.com. It's Lori, V as in Victor, ARSA, M as in Mary, ES.
Okay, .com. And after you've been coached and you are ready to go to SonomaValley.com for deals, special offers, and events. Thanks for listening. Come check out 100 Days of Sonoma Winter Wellness at SonomaValley.com. Mom and Dad, had a great Christmas. Hope you're doing well. Larry, send me a text, bud. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.